Good evening, everyone. Got a quick message already blinking in and out. So what I'm going to try to do is take it from off the internet and put it on my try to take and put it on my own. Don't even want to let me switch over. Okay, don't want to let me do it. I don't want to waste up a whole lot of your time. Anyway, I was sitting up here and I was watching Meet the Press, and this jumped out at me. This jumped out at me for specific reasons. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take and switch back and forth, but let me try. Let me see. Can I switch back and forth? Okay, it's let me switch back and forth. Now, on here, just want to go right here to this first part on here. I don't want to show nothing but this first part. Okay, this right here is the first part of what I did to the message that Bishop Ekaban gave a couple of weeks ago. But the two this Sunday, the Sunday before last, and the very first verse in here, where in First Kings. Chapter 38, no, not First King, Isaiah chapter 38, very first verse in here. When you take and do everything, when you come down to the last part of it, you get the number 198. Remember, that's the 152 I was telling y'all about in there from the number that come, but look, you get the 141 in there too. So anyway, but the 198 is important, and this you get from out of the first verse. So let's go to the first verse and read what the first verse said. Then I'm going to go up here to this show. Remember the number 198. Okay. Remember the number 198. Now we're going to Isaiah chapter 38. Okay, the very first verse, Isaiah chapter 38, it reads, "In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, came unto him and said unto him, Thus said the Lord, set thy house," that's important, "set thy house in order, for thou should die and not live." Now, we need to take and pay attention to this, because in the verse it's saying he was sick unto death, set thy house in order, for thou should die. Now, what I'm getting from that, because the number that showed in there, the 198, and because of what Reverend Jesse Jackson is saying in this message that he gave in 1984 on Meet the Press. Remember the year 1984. Remember, it's been 84 years since World War II. So please get all this. Saying, set that house in order. Okay? God is letting us know that our house is out of order. All of our houses, this country house is out of order. He's letting it's a sickness that's killing this country. It's a sickness that's killing this country. Now, 198 is the last number that you get in there. When you break 198 down, you get the number 18, because 1 plus 9 is 10 plus 8 is 18. So the middle number would be 18. Remember the 18, then it would break down to 9. So here it is. Let's go ahead and watch this video on Meet the Press. Let's go ahead and watch this. Let me turn this around. Okay. Let's watch this on Meet the Press.
Welcome back. The late Reverend Jessie Jackson was honored with memorial services across the country after the pioneering presidential candidate passed away at the age of 84. Former Presidents Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and Joe Biden joined thousands in praising Jackson as an ambassador of hope and a champion for the poor and the dispossessed. Jackson joined Meet the Press in 1984 on the heels of his first presidential campaign, just days before his now iconic address to the Democratic National Convention that helped shape the party's future.
You must put one foot in the system and one foot outside. We must fight for change. We cannot adjust the party.
See him grab it? Okay.
Before his now
watch the guy grab his ear.
Democratic National
Watch the guy that's interviewing him grab his ear, like saying, pay attention. And now this way back then. He grabbing his ear and said, pay attention. Please pay attention to this, y'all. Watch the guy grab his ear out there just before Jesse Jackson gets to start saying what he's saying, or right when he's saying it. Watch, listen to this.
Convention that helped shape the party's future.
You must put one foot in the system and one foot outside. We must fight for change. We cannot adjust the party. We must change the party. Got that right to vote 18 years ago after much bloodshed and death, and yet 18 years later, with this great brotherhood, there are 512,000 elected officials, about 5,200 are black. We've got about 1% of the elected officials. We're about 12% of the population. At this rate, it will take us 198 years to achieve parity. My generation is restless. We must change the system and not adjust to it.
Before his now...
Now, I just want to pause there for a minute. Now, he said, at the end, said it take us 198 years to take and fix what's wrong in our house. He speak about it being 18 years from one point to 18 years there being another point, okay? And then this was said in 1984. 84 years, emphasis on 84. It's been 84 years since World War II, okay? The guy take and grab his ear like this, like telling us to listen. I believe it was the Lord that had him to grab his ear for a time like this, telling us to listen. Now, Jesse Jackson is saying about the great bloodshed that took place. I'm going to play this one more time because I need for y'all to hear this. Talking about the great bloodshed, the bloodshed that was shed, and how it was 18 years from one thing to the next. I done spoke in at least 5 or 6 videos since last year, since I did that, Prophetess Montgomery, since I spoke on that about what Prophetess Tiffany Montgomery was speaking about when she came on 12/18 of last year, 2025, and the stuff that was being revealed to me that had to do with the number 18. Remember Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 18? Please help me, Lord, to stay on subject. Please, please. Mercy, please. Now, here, I'm going to rewind this again. Pay attention to God grabbing his ear. Pay attention to how Jesse Jackson is saying it was 18 years of great bloodshed to 18 years with the Brotherhood to it taking us 198 years. There's no coincidence in none of this. When he got to talking about the 18, Genesis chapter 18 spoke to me about when Abraham, when God, the angels come down to Abraham and Sarah to tell him about the promise, and even when he was getting ready to take a leave, say, should we not tell Abraham about what's going on? They was heading on their way to Sodom, because Sodom's house was all the way out of order. So if we pay attention to Isaiah chapter 38, God is telling the King Hezekiah to get his house in order because he's getting ready to die. Pay attention to this, because the house here in this country is all the way out of order, okay? People in this country getting ready to make a mistake because they haven't sought God hard enough and long enough in the right way, and the church is all the way out of order. I went to church Sunday, and the power of the Python spirit of Creek, and this used to be my home church, Zion Hope Baptist Church on Van Dyke. Used to be my home under Pastor Cousin Grant. The last 2 times I went there, all of a sudden he wasn't there. And when they got to singing and stuff and talking, it was like there was a mockery that was mocking me, because they went to singing up on the pulpit. And what hurt me the most about it is you had an older woman. I've been trying to find the video. I ain't been able to find it. I ain't been able to get on there to take and pull the video up from Sunday. The woman that preached Barbara Collins, Minister Barbara, what she was preaching about was the truth, and it was raw. I can't deny that. I did research on the same thing about 7 years ago. when I was tracing the lineage of both sides of Jesus. So I know what she was talking about, was preaching about, was the truth. I know a lot of things that she's saying was the truth. But how we went from the praise, the different level of praise that was there was all the way out of order. Because we went to singing the song about let it burn, let it burn. You know that old song that you sing when you're in the club, let the roof burn. I forgot how it goes. That's just how far away I am with a lot of the worldly songs then from where I used to be. I used to remember stuff like that. But, when they went from singing that to supposed to have singing a song to bring in the glory of the Lord. You can't do that. And I remember times when they used to sing the song when I was there. I was off into it then too, but I was blind. I really wasn't understanding about how sacred, then how to understand about how sacred the altar is and how certain things shouldn't be allowed up on the altar. Even though she came later with the truth, speaking about the truth and all that, you know what I mean? I'm understanding how the power of the Spirit of the Lord is not being able to move because it's mixture. And that word was coming to me as they were doing that mixture. That was coming to me as I was sitting there mixture. And they just so happened to be singing that as I was going to Jeremiah chapter 7, and as I was reading from verse 1 to verse 2, and in verse 2 of Jeremiah, it talks about how matter of fact, let me try I don't mess it up. Let's go Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 2. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 2. And now let me turn this around so y'all know. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 2. Let's read 1 and 2. And the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, stand in the gates of the Lord's house and proclaim there this word. Hear the word of the Lord, all ye of Judah that enter in at these gates to worship the Lord. Now, the song was happening at the time that I was going to Jeremiah. As I was going to the church, I was reading Jeremiah chapter 7, and I was going in from verse 1 to verse 2 when this was going on. I said, wow, ain't no coincidence that this is happening like that. We know that Judah is the house of praise, and I done been there when they done been getting their praise on, and, atmosphere shifting. So I know that they got it there, but I'm able to perceive why? Because I went in there worse than, I came out worse than I went in. I came back and was just tired and had completely drained. And you shouldn't go into church like that. The spirit was just wrapping around. I know the woman that was sitting behind me and the other people that did see me, I know they're like, why is his body shaking? Like, why is he moving back and forth? Because the spirit was twisting and twirling in me. You know what I mean? That python spirit. And years ago, I posted many videos about how when I seen the spirit sitting up on the pulpit in the church, I was looking at it as my pastor had power and dominion over that spirit. But God revealed to me years later, after I continued to seek him, that when you see the spirit sitting up on the altar of the pulpit like that, that means that the spirit of divination is in operation there in the church. I thought about going to Bible study and trying to talk to him, but I realized the last 2 times that I went there, he ain't been there. So that right there sounds a symbol for the conscious mind, So I took that as thumb my nose at you when I could be wrong, but I just like, okay, I don't have time for this anymore. I know there's a greater knowing now. I know that God told me he wanted to use them greatly. I know God was saying this, that, and the other to me, but what I'm seeing is just not right. And, do I keep on trying to take out my time to go talk to people that's or I just move on. You know what I mean? Like I say, it hurts. Because people might think that I don't love them, but I do tremendously. Because I would have followed him anyway. You know what I mean? I'm someone that come from out of the street, out of the thickness of the streets. And I'm not bragging because there ain't nothing to brag about. I wish I would have never went that direction. You know what I mean? But, I'm playing all this back in my head. I'm playing back the things that revealed to me, and I'm playing back all the places that I seen this python spirit sitting up on the pulpit at. And I'm thinking about all the years that I was praying to the Lord, asking the Lord why I can't get free of this spirit. Why this, why that? And the Lord was revealing it to me, but I was in denial because I was in so much in love with the men and women of God that was, in charge of these places. And I was overlooking what God was revealing to me. So that brings us back to this with Jessie Jackson, with this discernment that God had Bishop Edgar Van to take and preach, by getting our houses are out of order in the church. My house is out of order. You know what I mean? This country house is out of order. And it's all lining up. All lining up. Out of that verse in there, when he tell me to get his house, I just showed y'all 198, and I'm willing to sit down with anybody and show them how I do the processes of this, and I show them how I this is something that since I've been doing this, I've been doing it in this way, so I'm not changing nothing, I'm not adding on to none of that. Okay, no coincidence. I did this last week. And the last part of the 198, when you take and you break 198 down, is 1 plus 9 equals 10, plus 8 equals 18. So the middle number is 18. The message has always been about 18. Now let's go back and hear what it is that Jessie Jackson was saying. And watch how he mentioned 18 twice. I just got through talking to y'all about in a video that I did, either the last one from the second one or somewhere where I mentioned in that about the 18 twice. Come on, y'all. Sounds simple for the conscious mind. That what my Morris brother says is very true. I mentioned it, and I hope that I can relax good enough to find out where I did this video, where I mentioned it. I just did it in either the video before last or the video before that, where I mentioned to y'all about the 18 twice. I've been talking about the 18 since last year. There's no coincidence. Now pay attention to what Jessie Jackson is saying in this video again, and pay attention to how the guy grabbed his ear. God had the guy to do that. That's listen. Now pay attention to how it's lining up right now. Now I'm finna go on and do it. Let me turn this around. Okay.
Iconic address to the Democratic National Convention that helped shape the party's future.
You must put one foot in the system and one foot outside. We must fight for change. We cannot adjust the party. We must change the party. Got that right to vote 18 years ago after much bloodshed and death, and yet 18 years later, with this great brotherhood, there are 512,000 elected officials, about 5,200 are black. We've got about 1% of the elected officials. We're about 12% of the population. At this rate, it will take us 198 years to achieve parity. My generation is restless. We must change the system and not adjust to it.
It'll take us at this rate 198 years to get our house in order. Why? Why? It begins at what? At the house of God. The house of God is out of order. Pay attention to how all these men are equating everything that God got to do, or God will do, how they're connecting it to money. What do Jesus say about money? And I ain't gonna lie, I want me something real bad right now. I'm truly tired of not having it. But what do Jesus say about this? Help me out here, Lord. Help me out here. Okay, we in Matthew's chapter 6, and we're going to go and see what it is that Jesus is saying about money. Okay, let's go right here, see, and that's how I know, and it's something that I read 1,000,000 times. Okay, temptation, where we at? Come on. Yeah, body of darkness. Okay, right here, Matthew's chapter 6, verse 24, it says, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. Now we know the mammon got to do with money right here. Matthew chapter 6 verse 24. It is speaking about that. Okay? Now, here it is. He's speaking about that. He warns us about that. And then again, when you take and you go to Mark, let's go to Mark. Let's go to Mark chapter 11. Let's go to Mark chapter 11. Help me out here, Lord. Let's go to Mark chapter 11, verse 15. Let's go to Mark chapter 11. Okay. Mark chapter 11, verse 15. And they come to Jerusalem, and Jesus went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold and brought in the temple, and overthrew the table of the money exchangers and the seats of them that sold doves. Now we know that the dove represents, supposed to reflect the Holy Ghost. We know that. Now we know that it's 18 missing years in Jesus' life. You know, we know this. You know what I mean? If you take and you go from 12 to 30, you know, the records ain't made known to us. We know that the records exist. We know that there's people that have those records, but according to in the Bible, it's 18 missing years. Pay attention to all the similarities with this number. Okay, but pay attention to in chapter 18 of Genesis when the angels are leaving after they done told Abraham about how he was going to be blessed with a male heir, and he was going to be the promised child, and how Abraham was going to be a father of many nations and all that. But pay attention to all that happens after that. Go and read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. But just pay attention to how all of it goes right here. Now we in Genesis chapter 18. Okay. Now I'm gonna go down to verse okay, share the night. We ain't gonna go there. Let's go right here. Let's start at 18:18. Okay, chapter 18, verse 18. Now remember, he talked about Jessie Jackson talked about the double 18s in there. Okay, now pay attention. 18 verse 18, and you know this the part that was speaking on down. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. Okay, look at that 23. Remember, I told you the 23 reflects Isaac. Now just pay attention to this. Okay, read this again. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him that he will command his children, and his household. Remember, he said, get your house together, and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. Slow down. Which he has spoken of them. And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom. And Abraham stood yet before the Lord. Okay? And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure, that 50 righteous within the city, wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this matter, and slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked that be from thee? Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Now, I'm going to go to Ezekiel. Remember that word righteous. It's speaking about righteous in there. It says right here, again, that be far from thee to do after this matter, and slay the righteous with the wicked. Now, let's go to Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel 33. Let's go to Ezekiel 33 right quick. Ezekiel 33. Remember that word righteous. Ezekiel 33. Ezekiel 33 verse 13. Ezekiel 33 verse 13. Come on, Jesus. Ezekiel 33 verse 13. When I shall say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust to his own righteousness and commit iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered. But for his iniquities that he has committed, he should die for it. Now, in here, it's speaking about his righteousness, and it's speaking about all the things that he did in the past should not be remembered. Now, he preached from Isaiah chapter 38, and he told him that he was going to die and to take and get his house in order. If you go to the very next verse in Isaiah chapter 38, King Hezekiah turned to the wall and began to pray. If you pay attention to that with Genesis chapter 18, Abraham is interceding. He's praying, talking to God and pleading. Okay? And God had already said that he was going to make Abraham a father of many nations. He's already considered Abraham to be righteous, one that he was going to use. Oh, Lord, help me. Please help me do this the right way. Oh, shake. Need your help, Lord. The point I'm trying to get to is that holiness and righteousness has left the church. The point that I'm trying to get to, even though God is taking and giving us all these signs, we still refusing to listen. I'm trying to point out to y'all that I'm tired of being broke. I know a lot of y'all tired of being broke, but we giving away the blessings that God promised to our ancestors for us to have because we thumping our nose at God. We mocking God. And God is he putting it on the floor in all in every way that our human minds can digest. So he's trying to awaken the spiritual man, the spirit man, the light that Jesus came from. But we choose to let that light be filled with darkness. He didn't even, I'm going to say this, and if I got to get in trouble with it when I stand before you, I'm willing to accept that, Lord. I'm willing to accept it. He's speaking through us through a worldly thing. Now, I know a lot of the holy, righteous-filled people shaking their head and that, but the message that the Minister Barbara Collins came from Sunday was Matthew chapter 1, verse 18. Let's go to it. Let's go to it. Let's go to Matthew chapter 1, verse 18. Matthew chapter 1, verse 18. Look what it says. Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise, when as the mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with the child of the Holy Ghost. With the child of the Holy Ghost. I need y'all to get this, with the child. So in here, it's speaking about being filled again with the Holy Ghost. I like being touched by God again and filling us again, but we are refusing to hear this word. Now I'm going to get ready to show y'all how God is using. Oh, I don't want to put this on my Bible, so let me put it on my knee. Come on, Lord, you got to help me. Well, you ain't got to, but I'm asking you to help me. You ain't got to do nothing. Now, here it is. Y'all see I have my books and pamphlets and stuff all on the floor. This is my little area. Okay, now here it is. Come on. Okay, keep it on here. Now, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. We're in Matthew chapter 1, verse 18. Okay, now you get 1, and then you get 18. Then it's in 32 words. And we got 4 verse. Now you see the 32 here instead of 23. Why? I can assure you that the 23 showed up before the 32 did, because the middle is 2 and 3. So that's 23. You're getting that 23. But it's shown here the rivalry even in that, because you get the 23 first, then the 32. Remember what I said about it? But I'm going to show you how God is speaking to me. And in that video, if y'all can find the video, because they won't let me pull up online. Pay attention. It will not let me pull up online. That I don't know if they got me blocked or what. But I can't pull the video up from yesterday, from Sunday, online. I done tried it. Okay? It won't let me get it. But here it is. We're in chapter 1, verse 18. Now pay attention. You got chapter 1, verse 18, you got 4 parts to this, right? Now watch this. The 4 digits that came out today on Monday, March the 16th, was 8141. 8141. Okay? 118, that'll give you 118, and then it got 4 parts. That's every number to that 4 digit that came out today. That's every number to that 4 digit. Now watch this, watch this. This the 3 digit. The 3 digit was 181. We need to pay attention. Was 181. Anybody that know anything about the lottery knows that there's front half and the back half to a number. Okay? So out of the number 118, that the back half number to that is 188. Anybody know anything about the numbers know that. So both numbers that came out today came from out of that. Not only that, it can be backed up by that from what Bishop Agavan preached from the week earlier. How can it be backed up from that? I didn't want to show this whole thing, but here it is. The bottom number to the middle part when you get ready to do it is 141. So you got the 141 there, right? Now, because I don't want to show everything. Let me see how I can take and do this. Okay, you get 8 parts there. You get the 8, you get the 18 there. I can show it that way. Okay, you get the number 8. If you go there and you count the very first part of Isaiah chapter 38, the very first part is in 8 words. Not only is the first part in 8 words, but the first part has 30. Let me make sure. 35 letters. First part has 35 letters. First part has 35 letters. Now I'm trying to show them where the messages are lining up with one another and how great the warning is. So I'm trying to show them, trying to show y'all how great the warning is. Okay, now let's. Okay, 38. Okay, chapter 38. Now watch this. Chapter 38. In those days, in those 2 days, 3 was 4, Hezekiah 5, 6, on 2, 7, death 8. Got 8 words, 35 letters. The 35 letters breaks down to 8. The 3 and 5 breaks down to 8. That's the first part. Thus, you have the number 188. What come out today? What come out today? Oh, my God, Lord. What come out today? You get 188 in that first part. And I'm showing you all where 818, that's number 188, just in another form. Now, I done showed y'all that in the message that he gave and her gave. He's the bishop up over Pastor Grant. That's who Pastor Grant come from up under. She's up under Pastor Grant. So here it is, you got to lock it in. Not only that, I can go and show you how the numbers from yesterday come from out of the message. I can show you how all week the numbers been coming from out of the message that he gave. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let all that go. I could take y'all there on it, but I don't want to get off into just the money thing. I just want to show y'all how he can take a worldly thing and he can use the worldly thing to speak to us, to bless us, and to guide us if we're willing to listen. He knows all of this. He knows the end from the beginning. But our houses are so out of order. I know mine is, and I'm missing everything. I'm missing stuff that I would never miss. I left up out of church yesterday knowing that it was a blessing in it. I'm sitting there writing down different stuff, knowing that a blessing is there. But the mockery part that I was seeing that was going on, it just took me from a loop. And the way that the spirit was twisting and twirling in me, we got more of a spirit of divination operating in the places that's supposed to be moving with God's spirit. I know what God told me about that church. I know that God wanted to use that church mightily, man. Mightily. I know this. Talking to me about it all the time. But what's going on is mockery. The things that we allowed in there up on the pulpit and the altar, we should not be allowed. And I know I'm probably going, any friends that I might have there might be over with, any love that might have been, it might be, but that's okay. Because I'm going to tell the truth. But no, it ain't okay. It's a lie. I'm not okay with it. But I'm going to speak out about what I know that's not right. Every church that I've been going to, this spirit of divination has been increasing in me. Spirit of pride been increasing in me. I'm sitting up and asking, Lord, I thought you wanted me to go to these 9 churches. But each time I'm coming up out on worse, there's something wrong with this, Lord. And I'm talking to him. I've been, these last 2 weeks, I've been really messed up, y'all. You know, really, really messed up. You know, and like I said, if I would have did what the Lord was telling me to do way back then and believing that he talked to him, maybe I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. Because he was warning me, giving me warnings about a lot of this stuff then. But what is more important than anything, I'm going to play this one more time with Jessie Jackson. Then I'm going to get up off of here because out of everything, it's what's the most important that y'all understand how this lines up. That y'all understand how this lines up. So please hear this, y'all. I don't know what other way to do it. I hope I can find myself so I can post these videos in ways that they will line up. The first message that I gave this year was about this prosperity preaching and how it's being used and how God revealed to me that what Prophet Brian Kern did. And he's gifted. He just done lost his way. People done used him and guided him in the wrong way. If he would have had a real man, a woman of God to sit up on and really guide him, oh my God, the souls and the deliverance that would have been operating through him, man. I was there, seeing the power move with him. I was there, y'all. Right there in that church in back of me, a house of praise and worship. You come up in there and the Holy Spirit, the angels, and everything was in it. Seen it. Eyes wide open in the spirit realm. She felt it. You know, we're destroying even the people that God is raising up because we won't guide them in the right way. I know, I hear you saying they're going to kill me, but I realize that they kill anybody that stand on the truth. Every great leader that we done had that really done tried to guide the people towards the truth, that's what we do. But I'm telling y'all this. If we don't get our house in order, our children are going to suffer greatly because God done had men and women crying out to y'all in a loud, loud way. And y'all constantly don't want to listen. A lot of y'all don't want to listen to me because how evil I used to be. And I was evil. Lord, was I evil. Why should we listen to him, all that evil and wrong that he did? And y'all can't get past that to hear the truth that I'm speaking to y'all. Y'all can't get past that. And I don't want a title. None. I don't, because titles, I believe they truly destroying the church. All I want to be is the Lord's son and his disciple, because I'm understanding how important sonship is. And I know I'll never be a son of none of theirs, because I'll never embrace the stuff that they're doing. God been too good to me. Just talked to my brother this morning about 11 times that I can just flat out count that God saved me from death. 11, I'm talking about 11 flat out times, y'all. Wait and stop death. 11 times. 5 times in one night. Not one, but 5 times in one night. 5 times. And I'm going to spit on that goodness? No. I'm not going to do it. Now, again, let's go back to this with Jessie. Mercy, Lord.
We must put one foot in the system and one foot outside. We must fight for change. We cannot adjust the party. We must change the party. Got that right to vote 18 years ago after much bloodshed and death, and yet 18 years later, with this great brotherhood, there are 512,000 elected officials, about 5,200 of the black. We've got about 1% of the elected officials. We're about 12% of the population. At this rate, it will take us 198 years to achieve parity. My generation is restless. We must change the system and not adjust to it.
Our houses is not in order. And you go to Genesis 18:18, he mentioned the 18:18 in there. The 198 is in at the end of that of Isaiah chapter 38 verse 1. You know, I showed y'all the 198 in there. I'm willing to sit down and show anybody how I come up with it, and that is that. You know, just doing and following the things that I do. You know, signs and symbols are for the conscious mind. You know, our children are going to suffer greatly if we don't get this together and start getting it together soon. If y'all go in this next season coming up and y'all vote wrongly, if y'all don't get up out of this evil party, because it's evil. And yes, the Republicans ain't doing everything right, but I told y'all, God gonna deal with them if they don't listen. Trust me in this. I know I'm not hearing and seeing from God like I used to, but I remember what he told me. If we trust him and we say yes to him, he's gonna deal with them. The Democrat Party is not right. The things that they have opened up the doors and let in, the things that they have done that has helped us to destroy our community even more, pay attention to it, y'all. What games has really been made with them in power? What games? We know that there's things that the Republicans are doing that's not right, but God's going to deal with them if they don't listen. But you got to let some of the things that's been set in order take its course so the change can come. It's people here in this country that don't mean it's no good. They came in through the Democratic Party. It's policies and stuff that exists that goes against God's word. We can't continue to embrace that and think God is not going to deal with it. Here it is, someone that was in the Democrat Party all these years. God using him to take and give us a warning. The 18:18 is mentioned in that. Go and read Genesis 18:18 on down. Because right after that, they get to talk about Sodom and Gomorrah. This country is a reflection of Sodom and Gomorrah. Look at that slight rainbow up on the head being made by light and the reflection. And that brings us back to Don Lemon having 3 dogs with rainbow color hookups on. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit ain't no dog. God didn't say man and man. He didn't say Adam and Steve. He said Adam and Eve. A woman's womb is a matrix. It's linked straight to heaven. We stick something up in there, killing something up in there. What are we doing? We're not opening up heaven. We open up the evil realm. The place where Satan is. We allow him to come in. Them demons love drinking blood. Yeah, I know that the light is making a reflection of the rainbow, but I'm just saying. I don't know, man. I don't know what else to do. I'm gonna stop worrying about it, because life is only a breath, And like I said, I'm not gonna walk in fear, I know that anybody that comes and speaks the truth, our people have a way of getting rid of them because they want to just live there. I've seen some young girl when I went to go get a pizza from people last night, had her face all dressed up like the old Egyptian women used to and all. And I'm sitting up and I'm seeing all this stuff with our people, wanting to hold on to them old ways, wanting to be like the people of old, not really paying attention to history. I meant it when I said I'm sorry for the way that I did y'all. Well, I know a lot of y'all probably don't believe me. But if any of y'all really just pay attention to the way I used to be and the way I am now, y'all would know. Y'all would know. I mean, come on, be honest with yourself. Because I was an evil MFer. And y'all know it. Instead of y'all celebrating God and being happy for that, y'all with the nonsense, man. Y'all rather see that old man than see someone that want to love on you and treat you right. That ought to let y'all know that something's wrong. That ought to let y'all know that something's wrong. That ought to let y'all know that something is wrong. Anytime that church people begin to know this about a person and then they want to just take and make the person evil. Come on, y'all. I'm gone, man. Do what I can do, Lord. It's in your hands.